Hello and welcome to the St Kilda and Bayside report. It is December 2016 and I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Jeremy Rosens. Has this year not flown by at warp speed?
Frighteningly fast, Jeremy Rosens.
I remember
it just
sitting
went
here
in a minute.
like 4 years ago saying, we've just come to St Kilda and blah, 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 blah. Now it's 4 years later.
It is 4 years. Someone said to me the other day they thought this was 18 months old, this office, or 2 years old, and that's because it looks so fresh and lovely and young.
I reckon if that person went back to the video of when we filmed 4 years ago, they would probably see a much younger looking version of you with much blacker hair. I've never noticed it more than I have today.
Yeah, it's funny how the grey coincided from the time we went into partnership together, isn't it? Jeremy Rosens, it's time to reflect on the year gone past. How big has it been? Well,
this is the closer for the year, is it? This is our last episode for 2016.
It is a closer. Last time we did film at the Avenue.
Yes, we
not
did.
That we talked a lot of real estate because we had the girls talking about their experience at the block. So if you missed that episode, go back and check it out because it's a great episode where we interview Sasha and Julia. Love those girls.
You know, Gary, you had the sweats big time then, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but you've got a bit of a light sheen over the head there.
Well, firstly, I've copped a pounding from you for being late because I wasn't
you weren't late. An hour's not late in anybody's terms, is it, Gary?
I was with a client, and I had to prioritise there, Jeremy. Unfortunately, the client came well before you. And
just before we go on, the cameraman, I actually told him that we might need to have two sets of graphics, and he looked at me quite strangely, and I said, we might need wrap up for 2017, not for 2016.
Why is that? Because
we didn't think you were going to ever turn up.
No, I'm here. And Mr. Roses, let's just keep going.
Carry on.
We did have the block last week.
Let's talk about where we were last month.
Yes, you've got me on track, steered me back in the right direction. You've got the whip out and put the blinkers on, and I'm going straight.
I'm glad you talked about blinkers as well, because God knows where that was going.
Yes, indeed. Tell me something. What did the Avenue sell for? Yeah.
Well, Gary, Twilight Auction, and I got to say, the Twilight Auction, what a feel it had.
I love them.
We'll put up some photos here because we had a little bit of champagne action.
Oh, here it is. Yes.
Philip Kingston, finally, we got him out of that silly white hat that he wears.
About time too.
And I tell you, the
Colombian drug dealer hat.
A festive atmosphere down there in the Avenue. All the neighbours came along. Some of them even stayed a little bit beyond the time that they should have. Just keep sipping on their champagne.
And Philip did the most superb job.
Great job
in passing it in.
Did it pass it in like a champion?
It's fantastic, isn't it?
But Limor and Vicky, credit to them, didn't take them very long. I think it was 24 to 48 hours, and that property was sold for a price.
Deal done.
Sadly undisclosed, but we can say to the viewers, well in excess of $2 million.
We got Philip out of the way and did the deal, but no, he did do a fine job. And the auction, it's funny. People say, well, it's a failed auction, but it's not a failed auction. It's just a step on the way to success, and that's exactly what happened with that auction. Took a couple of days later to get the outcome, but sometimes it's worth waiting a day or two longer.
And theoretically in terms of the way the laws work, Gary, which you'd be well aware of, within 3 days of an auction, both before and after, it is still considered auction conditions.
Well, it's auction conditions in the law, exactly right. How it's reported can be different,
Very different.
3 clear business days before or after, there's no calling off period, Jeremy, is what you're saying, and you're correct. They are the auction terms. So that was a very good result. There's been some other good results also, some exciting ones.
Let's talk about the year that's been, Gary, because there were some prices this year that they were unbelievable.
Let's do a bit of a rewind, talk about some of the results. Which ones do you want to focus on?
There's a top 3 that I want to talk about.
The top 3 sales,
the blocks.
2016. Can we get a bit of a drum roll? All right, very good. If it didn't come through,
do you remember,
visual domain will change it.
What I will do, and I'll show you, this is how I'll do it. It's very David Letterman-esque.
Go on.
So let's talk about the top 3 sales, Gary. And then he pulls his paper out.
And then he throws it behind him at the end. We must do that. Hey, by the way, I've gone to a meeting. You don't know about this, but I'm going to share it. It's the first time I heard it here. I went to a meeting the other day. I love this story. I've gone to a meeting, and the vendor is home said, well, actually, the vendor's a teacher, and said, one of my students is part of the organisation, and it's Jeremy Rosens. And they said that the student...
Why the first time that you're telling me this isn't on TV?
Well, I'm going to get your reaction. Absolutely raw and absolutely unplugged raw. So she said to me that you were a naughty boy in class, she said, but you had the most incredible ability of rolling up paper and
throwing it somewhere
in the bin, and you never missed.
Really?
And I said, he's still the same. He's always playing with balls and putting papers and catching things. I said, you're still the same. But she said, you were a naughty boy. And someone else tried to muck around. She said, no, if you're going to do that, you can come to the front of the class like Jeremy and watch how he does it, because he always sinks every time.
I could tell the viewers some
there you go.
very, well, I won't go into great detail, but some stories about my school.
Did you know who the teacher is? I'll share it with you later. Could be many of them. Anyway, go on.
I'm a bit upset that she didn't call me direct, though.
No, well,
She probably Yeah,
that's another story.
Anyway, the block was for us a significant sale, well in excess of $2 million there, and a great result. I think if we're talking just pure real estate, from a square metre point of view, that exceeded any other new or renovated apartment.
Do we call that highlight number 3?
Yeah, we'll go up the ranks.
Okay, so third highlight of the year, the girls on the block. There's some imagery.
Well, that's not third highlight. That's third price highlight.
Third price highlight. Okay, well, let's have some image of the girls.
The next one, Gary.
Hang on a minute, because we need to have some image of the girls.
No,
there they are.
We're going to do that a little bit later.
Oh, we'll take it back off again. Okay, yes, we're going to be repetitive and boring. Go on.
Yes. Well, we won't be boring.
Yep.
170 to 172 Nelson Street in South Melbourne. Limor and Nikki doing the business there in a superb way.
Highlight number 2
Gary,
of the year. Yeah,
it was undisclosed, but we can tell
it was well over $4 million.
Well in excess. We're not talking like 4 million and 10, not talking 4 million and 50.
Keep going. Up and away. Great auction, great result. Well done to the girls. Highlight number 2 for the year, Jeremy Rosens.
That was highlight number 2.
And we're getting to highlight number 1.
We won't drum roll it again because that's going to be silly. We'll over drum roll it. But the highlight has got to be last week, Gary. We had a midweek auction of a block of apartments in Elstonwick, no less.
We did, Jeremy
Rosens. It's kind of Bayside because it felt like it was close to the Elwood Beach.
Yeah.
But Gary, I don't mind telling the viewers here, the price was disclosed. It was $1,150,000 over the reserve, Gary. Not sold for.
People thought that was the selling price, but it was $1,150,000 over the reserve. That is
so
like winning lottery.
$5,150,000.
The vendors basically won Tats Lotto, and the ticket that they took was the authority that they signed with us to represent.
And Gary, my legs were killing me because I had to write down every single bid. I haven't counted
how many bids? Oh, I reckon
there would have been well in excess of 100.
Yeah, hundreds.
It was amazing. Superb, and Philip tried out his new auction formula and style, which is a little bit more, a little bit slower and relaxed.
And got to say, congratulations to the buyer, because the buyer is a very, very well-known, established client of our company who we love, who's done a lot of business with us before, an investor client. And you know what? They paid a big price years ago for a property, and now they are laughing. They have the last laugh, and I reckon it'll be the same there, because Elstonwick is a great suburb.
Top 3 sales, Gary, and this one's for the teacher. I hope you're watching.
Still such a good shot. No question, no doubt about you. Okay, they're the top 3 sales. Thank you. Very good.
So, Gary, I wanted to talk, because we talked the other day about what's happening.
Every end of year function, he's got a footy and he's always the perfect catch, and he dispenses it, he throws it around.
But what the viewers won't know is that I am possibly... look, I wouldn't say that I'm the most skilled person in the office, although I probably am, but I'm the only one of the group that continuously plays these sporting things during the Christmas parties that hasn't broken their leg, pulled their hamstring off the bone,
last Christmas party where there was a football involved, I did break my foot.
Broke your foot?
I did, I broke my foot.
Yeah.
That wasn't
And you're
great.
how old now, Gary?
Yeah, that wasn't great. Let's keep moving on. What you got?
I wanted to talk about what's happened to the median sale price in the Bayside area. I'm going to split it over 3 different suburbs.
People care about that.
We're dealing 3 suburbs in a majority sort of a sense.
But hang on, you've sold in a few more than 3 suburbs.
Gary, I can tell the viewers right now that we have sold in 20 suburbs over the year 2016.
So we're all over the place.
We are all over the place in terms of where we represent our
in terms of how we do our work. Go on, Jeremy.
Anyway, I've got here in my hand here, just in front of me here, the median selling price at the start of this year for St Kilda was $887,000.
Okay, impressive.
Which sounds paltry when you think about where we are now, because as of December...
Well, a lot of apartments and things as well.
Well, we can go to that too, because they've gone up to $1,050,000.
Well, hang on a minute, you're jumping around now. So the median is how much?
Was at the beginning of the year, $887,000. It is now $1,050,000.
Wow, that's a pretty big increase, isn't it? What's that, 25% or something must be?
But this is the interesting point.
20%?
Apartments or units as they're called.
20% increase in median, yes.
Has gone from 485 at the beginning of the year to 501.
Okay, well that's a good increase. Probably 3 or 4%, but that's a good increase in a marketplace.
That's St Kilda.
4%, I think that was.
If you look in East St Kilda, this is a crazy stat. At the beginning of January 2016, the median price was $1,350,000.
Yes.
And it's gone up to $1,386,000 as of December.
Not as much.
But what's interesting is the apartments have gone from $549 in January down to $515.
Do you know what?
That's the problem with medians.
Yeah, well, that's it. I didn't talk to you. No, they don't. I didn't talk to you a lot before this meeting, this session.
Well, it's not like you had time. You're an hour late in any of it.
Well, we could have spent half an hour talking. But, the medians are interesting, but they don't really display a full story.
Okay, so let's get rid of the rest of what I was going to talk about, the medians. We're out of here with that stuff.
Another good shot. I think it's the averages that are more important.
I don't have them, Gary. Well, hang on. Let's play to the strengths, not the weaknesses here.
We know our stuff. What do you reckon a property went up in terms of the same property, not something off the plan or new. Let's just talk about an established apartment that was a good apartment. What do you reckon it went up through the year? Let's say a good 2-bedroom apartment, Eastern Kilda, with a
I've seen
parking.
There's been some the really special apartments, the big ones. Some of them have gone up in excess of 20%.
Okay, and I reckon
I would say across the board it's probably closer to 15.
I reckon that's the same feeling I've got, and I reckon there's no better statistic.
I reckon you would have said it's the same feeling if I said whatever.
No, I wouldn't have. I reckon 15, 20%.
Because I feel you're less prepared than I am for this meeting.
I'm not. It's not about preparation. It's about insight and
gut feel too.
Talk about land.
Through the roof. I would say land has gone up 30, if not more percent.
I reckon land's gone up 20 to 25, 30.
Single-fronted houses.
And guess what? There was a sale on the weekend where a property in our marketplace, won't talk everything about, but went up by over 50% in 18 months. 18 months. That's unbelievable.
Here's a scary stat for you though, Gary. So I looked at this on a website just this morning that between 2008...
I'll worry about the websites that you look at.
No, this is all clear. Okay. Between 2008 and 2016...
Cameraman's laughing, he knows.
The median sale price, median, went up 81.8%, which probably falls into line with our property prices double every 10 years. Yep. But here's what's crazy about that stat, because they go from 2008 to 2016. But from 2012 to 2016, it went up by like 48%.
Yep.
So the bulk of the change has been over the last 4 years, more so than the last 8 years.
Absolutely. Well, I reckon just the last... Because 2013, you could say whatever you like, was a crap year in real estate, I remember.
Yep.
I reckon 2014 to now, there's been some monster
and
increases.
Stock levels came back halfway through the year.
Yeah, they did.
Better.
We know that.
Spring sprung.
Let's talk about maybe some of the highlights of 2016. Let's move this along.
Well, Gary, you'll notice behind us, if you could get your absolute oversized bonce out of the way, you'll see a sign that says Victoria's #1, and there's the award. It just happens to be right next to the other award here. We just put that little one there.
Beautiful.
Like a life-size version versus the made-up version.
Wow.
So that was a big highlight, certainly for our team.
What's that one?
That's last year's, Gary. That's last year's sales agent of the year.
Oh, Johnny Paul Young, you know the song? Take a look at me on
And that's the one from the year before, Gary.
What was that for?
So what I've done is I've shared the companies with mine.
Okay.
I noticed you didn't bring yours with you.
You mean the company won, but you got ditched. You weren't even a finalist this year. What is that? Back to back, the whole thing you were running.
For the viewers that want to go back through the episodes, I won't waste your time. I'll just tell you that what I said to you then is what I'll say to you now. Which
Very
is
Sam Newman look there.
About the individual, it's about the team.
That's true. You've always said that.
It's all about the team.
You've always said that it was more important to win the best small office, and you've done it, well done.
I played a team game, unlike you who it's all about you. And for those that don't want to agree with me, why is Gary Pear's name plastered everywhere and not somebody else's?
Yeah, sorry about finding the company, being a founder.
Founding, mate, not finding it.
Yeah,
you didn't find it. It wasn't here. You created it, which means you found it.
I founded with Mr.
Anyway, let's
Kingston.
move on. Let's move on.
The block was a bit of a highlight, wasn't it?
What fun
put some stuff up now. I want to see this information.
The block was amazing. Look, we spent a lot of time and a lot of resources, but I would do it no differently. I'd do it the same again. We had such great buy-in from all of our staff. They loved it.
And call well done to the girls. We love them. Well done to the team that all supported. And call blimey, I remember being in London with you, Mr. Rosens.
That was a big highlight. It was a big highlight. After
London
Singapore,
study tour.
We had a study tour in London.
Another highlight. Got some footage
was awesome.
there.
That was good times.
Some good images and
footage there.
Footage and photos, and that was a wonderful, wonderful time. We were there with our office manager, Kylie Crothers, who doesn't get often mentioned on this show, but she is the glue that keeps this organisation together.
Indeed.
So it was lovely to be there with Kylie and also Leo from our company office.
Yes, some personal highlights for the team. I know a number of agents in this office had their best months in real estate at some point throughout the year. Nikki Janover had probably 2 or 3 of her best months in real estate.
And she's been around a long time.
Veteran. As did Limor, who had some outstanding sales.
Been around a while. Yep.
Michael Jonas, a 2 or 3 year veteran of real estate, we'll call him a veteran, had his best month ever.
Good on you, Mark.
A couple of months ago.
Yeah, good on you, Mark.
And followed it up with a seriously good
He's a hard-working young man.
I had a best month as well.
Congratulations, good to hear.
In fact, I had a couple of best months.
Is that right? Best months ever? How long have you been in real estate for now?
Almost. I'll be pushing 20 years, Gary.
Is that a hard question? Do you want me to ask your name and start with that?
I don't know exactly because I think I was a little bit in my... It's about 18 years.
Wow, there you go. You should know
Because I had my 40th birthday this year.
There you go. That's another milestone highlight
It is
of the
a
year.
milestone.
And also talking about personal, Michael Jones is getting married.
He's getting married.
Nothing to get you up in the morning to get a listing more than a mortgage and a wife.
Yes, although the two are very closely linked. Some of us have to mortgage to get a wife.
So well done to him. Now let's talk about predictions of 2017. Should we talk a little bit about
Gary,
that?
I don't think we could even get to 2017. We've got a party this week, which is our end of year function.
Always scary,
if we can get past that, I'll think about 2017.
What do we think's going to happen?
I read this morning on the Herald Sun.
What's that?
That there are some bosses that are banning mobile phones at their Christmas functions.
I'm not surprised because of what goes on there. They don't want it filmed.
Obviously, you don't have a problem with it because ours are just, they're very dull affair.
They're very,
we'll sit around a dinner
very
table,
savoury and clean, aren't they?
Have a bonfire and sing Kumbaya.
We do. I love, that's my favourite part.
Roast marshmallows and tell stories about real estate.
We're possibly not as wild as others, but so is that because...
Predictions for 2017. Look, we have... we've got a really good book of auctions ready to go next year. We've got a number of exciting listings coming up.
Hey, if you're looking at buying, give Jeremy and his team a call. Because there's some amazing properties, and some of those at least you can know about. Some of those maybe they'll get sold now, but gee, there's some great listings for next year. I don't think we will ever open with a bigger bang.
I tried to explain this to you the other day, but you couldn't get your head around it. But
what was that about?
I said to you that we've got a big January, Feb coming up, and I said you can't really rank 2016 the way you normally do because really the spring has gone so late that it's actually now really a 13-month year, meaning it's going to suck in a bit of January because it's gone a bit longer because we've had to pull a few auctions out of this year because there hasn't been enough time and push them to next year.
I'm interested to know if any of the viewers have any idea what you're talking about because I'm quite a bit lost. But but we will be starting
off.
Not the first time, but we are going to start next year with some exciting listings and some stock.
We've also got some exciting news about next year, which we can't tell the viewers too much.
Oh, we've got a little bit of footage though.
We might take them on a little bit of a tour, Gary.
What are we looking at here now?
Well, there's a reason why we've filmed in this office.
Yes.
Because for the last 4 years, I've called this place home.
It has been a lovely
But
home.
I think if you follow me on this journey, which we're going to take in a moment's time, this will no longer be home for me.
So what are we putting on the screen now? What is this?
Well, you can see it now. See, that's me.
Did you? Yes.
That's me. Can you see the back of my head? It looks pretty good,
I can see the back of your head, but I can't quite see what's beyond you.
When
you
look closely, just very quickly look at the back. I've actually got a double crown in my hair.
A double chin?
No, double crown. That was the back of my head, not the front. So that's why my hair looks a little bit funny. Anyway, as you can see, I'm walking down the street.
You are?
And the reason why this is no longer home, Gary, is because this is now my neighbour.
Ah, well, you've got to love your neighbours and be good to them. Because we were a good home for many years for you. But where are we going to?
What are on the move, Gary. We have outgrown the sales department here in St Kilda. So we're moving on out.
Moving on up and moving on out.
We've got another property up the road which we're just in the process of making look beautiful. It's going to be cutting edge.
Excellent.
I'm sitting with Philip at this very, well, not right now, but over the last few weeks, just trying to scale back his budget.
Yes. Yeah, well, good luck with that.
He's very good at spending money, isn't he?
He's almost as good as my wife, not far behind.
You know what? I think I
cop it both times, day and night.
What your wife can do in a department store, Philip can do with a renovation.
Absolutely.
They are highly skilled individuals.
Unfortunately for me, she spends a lot more time in the department stores than he does with renovations, but that's another story.
He does the big ticket items quite well.
He does, very well.
So that's exciting. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, congratulations.
Give too much away because I think we might film an episode in there.
Why not? We should. We're moving up, we're moving on, and we're moving into 2017, and we will keep you informed on the St Kilda and Bayside Report. Congratulations to you.
And to
excellent
you, Gary,
year, Jeremy.
It's been a lot of fun.
So excited for you to win the award.
Can I still bring my mobile to this year's
you can.
function?
You can, but try to behave yourself if it's possible. That's not. But it's been wonderful to be bringing all the news.
Hopefully don't break your leg again,
I'll try not to. Thank you for your support to our clients and our friends. Have a wonderful...
Big shout out to the clients, Gary.
Of course, I just...
Huge support they've been.
Thank you. We would be nothing without them. And thank you. Thank you for tuning to the show. And the families that stick by us through the grueling, crazy hours that real estate agents work. But we wish you all a happy and safe summer and a wonderful, happy, healthy and prosperous 2017. Signing off, I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Jeremy. Thanks for your support. We'll see you next year.